In Italy and many other Mediterranean countries, lentils are very popular, but more so in southern Italy and in Sicily, where I come from. But leading towards Christmas, they become even more popular because they are paired with different type of meat and so on. And the pinnacle is on New Year's Eve, where they cook lentils with pig's trotters. Although in the old days they used to use the real trotters from pigs, nowadays they don't. They replicate it using some other stuff. I don't really know what is in them. However, today I'm cooking a kind of a Christmas meal using lentils, and I will be pairing it with sausages. I'm preparing my ingredients for my soffritto. Like most Italian meals, you start with the soffritto. So I just peeled and chopped 3 small onions, or a large onion, whatever you've got available. These are my last 3, we need to go shopping. And here are a couple of cloves of garlic. I have peeled them, and I'll just give them a gentle crush like this. These are baby carrots, and they are from our garden. As I said, we need to go shopping and buy some more, and this is the last, or more or less the last. But I'm actually just giving them a good clean, removing some of the darker stuff, and I'll use those. But a large carrot, or medium to large carrot, will be perfectly okay. These are a couple of celery sticks. I'm removing the little stringy parts, again from our garden, and I'm keeping the leaves. I've given them a quick chop, and I'm ready for my soffritto. And here we go with my favorite pot for this job. Some olive oil, followed by all of my chopped vegetables. Here are my sausages. I will be cooking for 4 people today, and I will add them straight away. And I'll move everything around to ensure also that the sausages touch the base of my pan, so they can start releasing some of their own flavour. I nearly forgot my peperoncino or chili pepper. 1 can go in. I'm keeping the temperature on medium. Occasionally I'll turn the sausages so that they are brown all over. Lentils marry really well with sausages, and sausages marry really well with mushrooms. So mushrooms go in. These are little baby mushrooms. I think they're called button mushrooms, and I'll combine them also with some normal closed up mushrooms. In terms of quantities, 300 grams combined. But you can use, by the way, any type of mushrooms you like. These are ideal because they are very convenient and very flavorful. You can of course do this in a vegetarian version and just drop the sausages and away you go. But if you were to make a meat eater's version like I'm doing today, I would suggest that you add a pork cube, or you can also use of course a vegetarian cube if you like, but clearly this will add a little bit more flavor. And of course, if you were to opt for the vegetarian version, a vegetable stock cube. And time to add my lentils. I have actually soaked this overnight. There were 300 grams when dry. I know lots of people do not soak their lentils, and you do not have to. As I always say, I do, because I think they become a little bit softer. But as I often say, in individual choices. But of course, if you want to make this meal and you do not have lentils that you soaked overnight, go ahead. But do ensure that you wash them though first. And I'll give everything a good mix so that the lentils and the sausages and the mushrooms are all combined together, and I'll go and get some water. But before I go ahead with water, I'll add all of my herbs next. So this is dry thyme. I would have actually used the fresh stuff if I had some, but I don't. However, I do have fresh rosemary, so I will be adding a couple of sprigs, also 1 bay leaf, and a generous little sprig of sage goes in also. Cold water, as my lentils are still raw, and the danger is that they could split. And I'll start filling my pot, and I'm pretty much covering the entire surface of all of my ingredients. A couple of liters gone in. And I'll turn the temperature up on maximum, and I'll go and find my lid, and I'll put it on, and I'll wait until it starts boiling. There we go, it's boiling away. Next job is to add some pepper. I will not add any salt, as there is stock cube in there which is salty, and also the sausages are quite salty. So I will limit myself to pepper, but I'll add some salt at the end if you need it. And I'll place the lid back on, and I'll turn this off from here. as I will be moving it to the main hob, and I will cook it over there, and I'll go and make some crostini or bruschetta, little bruschetta which go with this, and I'll show you what I do. As I've used lentils which are soaked overnight, they will be ready in about 30 minutes. But if you were to use the dry lentils, you might want to add a further 10 minutes until they are properly cooked. But also taste them and you will know exactly if they're done or not. There are different type of lentils, of course. You can use any variety. Some are larger, some are smaller. Mine are medium, so I think 30 minutes will be plenty. I'm now slicing some bread to do my crostini or bruschetta, mini bruschetta. Also, I wanted to add with the recipe, if you want, you can also add some chopped tomatoes, either in a tin or some fresh tomatoes. I didn't because I think that there is plenty going on, and I want to really the flavor of the mushrooms and the sausages to really combine well with the lentils. And if I was to add tomatoes, they've got quite a high degree of acidity, and the risk is that in this recipe they would take over. But some people do. Entirely up to you, of course. I'm going to use some rosemary so that I can marry the flavor of my bruschetta with the rest. I'm giving it a good chop until it's really fine. Something like this is perfect. Can you see? Lovely and fine. And I'll start putting my marinade together. Another large clove of garlic goes in my garlic crusher, and I can add it in. Salt and pepper. Very simply, finish it with some olive oil. I'll give it a good mix so that the flavor of the garlic goes across the entire marinade, and this is ready. Back to my bread. This is ciabatta, by the way, but you can use any bread you like, of course, and I'll start applying it on top. I just finished the first side, so I'll turn it around and I'll do the same again. They will not need a long time in the oven, by the way, 170, 180 degrees, about 10 minutes, and halfway through I'll turn them around so that they will have an identical color all over. When my mum used to cook things like this, she always used to make more broth than you would need for the recipe, and then put it in the fridge, and the day after she would warm it up and either make a new soffritto or add some other vegetables, or more often than not she would just add some pastina. Pastina is very small pasta, and just eat as it is, and it was really nice, actually really healthy, and it's a good way to make 2 meals from one cooking session. And that's exactly what I've done. I've made a lot more than what I need, as this dish will be pretty much served like this, and this will go in the fridge. However, before you start, make sure that you go inside and fish out the bay leaf and the rosemary, the little woody parts, because obviously all of the other parts have gone in, which is fine. Obviously, I will be keeping some stock, but I'll put the solids in first. Little sausage comes next, and that can go in the middle. And only a little amount of stock or broth. Make sure that you don't go mad, otherwise you'll end up swimming with it. And obviously my bruschetta or crostina are ready, and here they are. Look, they're looking really nice. And I'll just place them inside my plate like this, one in there and one in here, and this is ready. Well, almost ready. There's one more little tip. This is some rosemary olive oil. I'll share the recipe with you. Very simple, of course. A sprig of fresh rosemary. Make sure that it's dried, or what I mean by dry, not wet but fresh, and place it in, and then I topped it up with extra virgin olive oil. This is really good oil, and I left it there for about 3-4 days so that it gets all of the flavor, and that can go on top of my lentils and sausages. Why not? Let's put some more on top of my bruschetta. But I'm keeping that to make a little photo, so I'm going to help myself with some from the pot over here, and I'll let you know what they're like. They're delicious, really nice, especially the addition of the rosemary oil gives the extra additional layer of flavor. Make them, they're lovely, they are warming and a little bit richer than normal lentils, but as I said, regardless if you're vegetarian or not, drop the sausages and they're a little bit healthier. Let me know how you get on and I hope you make them. Thank you, ciao ciao.